Hi students, today we are having the session on chi-square test. This chi-square test, as we were mentioning in the first class of test of significance, that there are two types of test, broad classification. One is what we call as chi-square parametric test, and the second is what we call as non-parametric test. Parametric test, how we will distinguish between parametric test and non-parametric test. Parametric test is a large sample test. It is based on measures. But non-parametric tests can also be large sample tests, but it's always based on not measures, but always we will express the association. That means we want to establish the association between two variables. There we will have the importance of chi-square test, which is very important for medical professionals. So that is why you need to know how to calculate chi-square test or how to do chi-square test, because in most of your research processes you will do a test called this chi-square test only. So what is the first step in any testing procedure? We want to write the null hypothesis. So I think you remember in the last class for students to test, what is the null hypothesis we were mentioning that the null hypothesis was to write the measure. That means the mean value is equal to that mean value we need to write in the null hypothesis, which we are mentioning in the last class of students test. But here in the chi-square test, we never mention about the measure. Here we will mention about the association between two variables. So what do you mean by the association between two variables? The question here is that we want to establish the relationship between two variables. That means those who are having the habit of tobacco chewing, will they get oral cancer? So this is our question. So what we have done, we have selected 500 subjects. 250 are having the habit of tobacco chewing, 250 are not having the habit of tobacco chewing. Among 250, 100 among 250 who are having the habit of tobacco chewing, 100 had oral CA, and those who are not having the habit of tobacco chewing, only 20 had oral CA. So this is our question. Now we want to find, or this is our study. Now we want to find, is there any association between these two variables? That means between oral CA, can we tell that all those who are having the habit of tobacco chewing will get oral CA? So this is our question. So that is what we were writing in the null hypothesis, that there exists no association between the habit of tobacco chewing and oral CA. No association. That is what we will always write in the null hypothesis, that there exists no such association between. So that's the first step. Now the second step in the chi-square test is that we want to prepare a 2 by 2 contingency table. That is what you have seen. You can see under that. That means 2 by 2. How will you prepare a 2 by 2 contingency table? First, what you want to write? You want to write what is the effect here? Oral CA is the effect. That means because the habit of tobacco chewing, these people are having the habit of having oral CA. So out of the oral CA, yes, no, those who are having, not having. Habit of tobacco chewing, those who are having, not having. So this is what you mean by 2 by 2 table. And this total we won't consider in both the cases. But now, out of 250 who are having the habit of tobacco chewing, how many of them are having oral CA? 100 are having oral CA. Out of 250, those who are not having the habit of tobacco chewing, only 20 are having oral CA. So now what we want to find, we want to check whether there exists any association between. So for each of these variables or each of these values, 100, 150, 20, 230, is what we call as observed frequencies. For each of that observed frequencies, we want to calculate expected frequencies. So how will you calculate expected frequencies for that? We will calculate expected frequencies for that by taking. So for 100, what we have done, we have selected the row total of 100, that is 250, multiplied by the column total of 100, divided by the grand total of 500, grand total 500. So like that we will calculate the expected frequency for each of that observed frequencies. So for 100, what I have told you, 250, that means the row total multiplied by the column total divided by the grand total. Now you yourself can calculate how we will calculate for 150. That means 150 row total is what? 250 multiplied by 380 is the column total of 150. So 380 divided by 500. Then for 20, how we will calculate? 250 the row total multiplied by the column total 120 divided by the grand total 500. So for 230, how we will calculate? 250 multiplied by 380 divided by 500. So like that, we will calculate the expected frequency for each of that observed frequencies, and that is what we have mentioned here. That means the next table we will mention like this: 100 for 100 observed frequency, we will calculate the expected frequency. That means 250 multiplied by 120 divided by 500. So this is what the expected frequency of 100. So for the expected frequency for 150 is what? 190. The expected frequency for 20 is 60. For 230 it is 190. Now what's the next step? Each of these observed frequency is what we call as O. That means we will express it as O, and for expected frequency we will express it as E. So next column is what? This one. Observed frequency minus expected frequency, the whole square divided by expected frequency. So you want to take the difference of the observed frequency from the expected frequency, square it, and then divide it with the each of that expected frequency. So 100 minus 60, the whole square divided by 60. That means 60 is the expected frequency there. So that value is what we call as 26.67. Then for 150, next expected frequency, how we will calculate? 150 minus 190, the whole square divided by 190. That is what we got as 8.42. Then 20 minus 60, the whole square divided by 60. So that value you got as 26.67. Then 230 minus 190, the whole square divided by 190. So 8.42. Like that we will calculate expect all these values. So each of this value, now what we want to do? We want to add all that value. So that addition is what we call as 70.18. And this value is what we call as chi-square test. That means the addition of each of this observed frequency minus expected frequency, the whole square divided by E. Adding all that values, we will get the chi-square value. And this chi-square value will always be accompanied by a term called degrees of freedom. So how will you calculate degrees of freedom? We can say that I have written here, this 70.18 is not written as such. It is always accompanied by a term called with 1 degree of freedom. So what do you mean by this degree of freedom? Degree of freedom can be calculated using the formula row minus 1 into column minus 1. So how many rows are there in the contingency table? 2 rows and 2 columns. Totals we won't consider. Only the values we will consider. So 2 rows and 2 columns are there. How is 2 rows? So this is what we call as these 2 column and 2 rows. So this is why, that is why it is so called as 2 by 2 contingency table. So degrees of freedom will be calculated using that value, row minus 1 into column minus 1. So 2 rows and 2 columns, so 2 minus 1 into 2 minus 1. So that is why the degrees of freedom is 1 here. Now this value which we are calculating, the value of chi-square is what we call as calculated value of chi-square with 1 degree of freedom. So that value is what we call as 70.18. Now in the from statistical table, we are getting a chi-square value with 1 degree of freedom at 5% significance level, and that value is what we call as 3.84. So that value is expressed here. This value is what we call as the table value of chi-square with 1 degree of freedom. So the calculated value is there with us 70.18. The table value is there with us 3.84. Now our question is whether we want to accept or reject this null hypothesis. Always, as we were mentioning in the student's test also, if the calculated value is greater than table value, we reject the null hypothesis. That is a rule. If calculated value is greater than table value. So here we can see that calculated value is much greater than table value. Calculated value is 70.18, but table value is only 3.84 at 5% significance level. So since the calculated value is greater than table value, we will reject the null hypothesis. It shows that the term, that means we were mentioning in the null hypothesis that there exists no association. So that is rejected. So which shows that there is association between the habit of tobacco chewing and oral CA. So what is our assumption? What is our interpretation then? Those who are having the habit of tobacco chewing should stop their habit so that further they won't get any oral CA in future. So that is what our assumption is. Or that is what our interpretation is. So this is what we will do in any chi-square test.